1.
And welcome back to the Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast, episode 327. 327. 3
Yeah.
times 2 is 6. 6 becomes 247, but if you minus 6 from 7, you have 1, and then basically the first episode of the podcast. Welcome to Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast, a podcast based on the best day of the week, situated between the most convenient day of the week and then the actual perceived best day of the week, but is really just a false flag. It's a red herring of a best day of the week. And joined with this podcast, we have Bruno on my right, which I have to lie to myself. It's on my right because he's really on my left when I look at it on Discord. But
I am on screen left.
right, yeah. So my right. This is my right. I
Correct.
write with this
Yeah,
hand.
yep. Uh-huh.
I'm not
Yep.
her over here.
It's just yes. Correct.
Yes. Hey Bruno.
Hi, Nick.
First podcast in October. I think our last podcast was in September technically.
Yes. Yep.
We are in Spooptober.
It is the month of Doot.
I've been jamming to fucking Dutes on my way home.
Have you?
Yeah. I think I have like one or two lights I sit at, and I think people next to me are just like, what the fuck is this guy listening to? And they're just like listening to some like trumpet noise going toot toot.
That reminds me of when we came to your area for your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
We were driving through the one town one day, just blasting spooky, scary skeletons, because the whole town was like in Halloween mode.
Perfect time.
It was, and we were bumping it, let me tell you.
It's the only way. It's the only way. So many I'm gonna put in quotes memories, like Google calls them memories, and Samsung calls them like memories. Phone just blasting up the past couple days with memories.
Yeah.
I got a slew of things. So if you have something, cut me off.
Okay. Well, how about we try and do some alternating? Because I have a few as well.
Do you want to start, or do you want to, or do you
You
want?
go ahead. Sounds like you got something.
Okay, Bruno. So this was a story that I was gonna be hyped to tell you about my misery last week.
No boy.
This is a holdover story I've been like really wanting to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
but it had to go on hold, but it's fine. But last week or 2 weeks ago was basement story,
Yes.
and then basement, whatever, poop pit.
We
The
did
basement,
discuss poop pit. Mm-hmm.
um so after I got into house mode, I was like, man, well, there's some other things that would be nice to get done around the house. And we still haven't 100% like nailed down exactly um the method. We obviously are gonna pay for our basement, but how we go about it, we have options, so we haven't 100% landed on the option that we thought makes the most sense yet.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh hey, well, if we're doing the basement, I know there's one other major thing that I wanted to get done to this house. Um, this is a money saving thing. So like over time, if we get it done now, by the time we would ever want to sell this house, it will have paid for itself. Um,
Okay.
like we'll get like it'll return on value before selling.
Mm-hmm.
So old house, 1950s, 1957, I think, maybe. Old house.
Okay.
They used to make houses really good back in the day, in a lot of regards. I got like old wood in my basement. I got all those
Mm-hmm.
rings on there.
The
I got
wood
brick and mortar.
used to be a lot straighter. Yes.
I got brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I got um shitty concrete. Concrete was not better. But insert probably like fucking the nails they probably used were fucking probably like decently grade steel, to be honest with you. I'm sure
Yeah.
like I'm sure that steel was fucking just like amazing, not amazing, but I'm sure it was probably fucking great.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but there was a lot of things the 50s weren't known to be good at in retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so when I got my house and we got it inspected, one of the things they do is they check your attic. Um, for houses that have attic, we do. Um, well, our home inspector went up to the attic and said, "Huh, you guys have pretty shitty insulation in your attic. Like it's bad. You guys could get better insulation in this attic, and it would probably lower whatever heating slash cooling bills you have." Like he's like, I don't see how it wouldn't do a decent impact of it. He's like, you're talking
Sure.
like your R values are probably around like he's like he gave me a number of like what he thought our R values would probably really. He's like, it modern standards are probably 10 times that. Like
I could see that.
he's like semi like 80s 90s houses they have okay insulation, not if you would what we would classify today's as great. Now in 20 years it might be bad, but by today's standards are great. Like we're pretty good on
Yeah.
the insulation game. Um, so I was like, oh, in my back of my mind, like, yeah, it's probably if we're doing house stuff, it might be time to just bundle this in to like, oh, a couple extra $1,000 to do like an attic extra insulation type thing. It might be beneficial and it'll pay itself
Sure.
off. So I had a company come out. I have no idea how much insulation costs, to be honest with you. No frame of
Okay.
reference.
What type have you been looking at? Are you talking like blown in
This company
insulation?
did blow-in cellulose, blown-in fiberglass, or spray foam.
Okay.
So they offered a smorgasbord of options, basically all the options. Um, so I wasn't there. Madeline was home. It was like through the day, like 4 o'clock. Guy comes just to like go give us an estimate of like what we have and like what he would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline lets him up in the attic, whatever. He's like, oh, this is a strange attic access because you got to access it from the garage and it's a big swinging door and you like go in it from like you walk in from the side. Um,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
um, First reaction when Madeline was standing there, the guy goes up there. He's like, oh god, oh god, oh. And it's never good when the person you have coming to do stuff with your house is first reaction is oh god.
No, no, it isn't.
So I'm like, Madeline's like, hey, he's here. I'm like, well, I'm work's pretty dead right now. I if you want to like put me on speakerphone while he talks, I can at least hear and maybe add a comment or two, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So guy comes down. He's like, well, so I looked at your insulation in the attic, and I can't put this in any nice way, but saying you guys don't have insulation in your attic.
Okay. Fair enough.
So when you go up into my attic, when you look at the floor, there's a silver thermal sheet.
Mm-hmm.
In the 50s and 60s, they thought it was fancy. It's those like it's not quite this, but I'm just gonna word it this way. You know those like thermal camping blankets that are like
Yeah.
reflectory silvery.
The Mylar. Yeah.
Yeah, same shit in a broad sense of the term.
Yeah. So
That
basically nothing.
well, no. That covers up all my like rafters.
Yeah.
So I've never peeled it up to like look underneath it. I just had the inspector peeled up a spot at one point. He said it was bad. This guy like actually did an assessment. Um, Apparently I have an inch and a half of 1957 um grade blow-in cellulose insulation.
That's
He's like at best
like
you have like an
nothing.
R value of like 8, maybe 10.
That's like nothing.
So, yes. But
All right.
he's like by today's standards, you have no insulation. He's
Yeah.
like I can't say that you have no insulation because you have something, but he's like you're using a sheet in the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
that
feel like I don't know offhand, but if I had to guess, I think for roof insulation like that, like attic insulation, I would say we're probably close to 40. Is
60.
like okay. Like I said, I
Yeah.
wasn't quite sure. I was taking a
For
guess.
No, 40 is like again, that's like that whole like 80s 90s like that's when someone says it could be better, but it's still good. Like it's
Yeah.
not bad, but
Yeah.
like basically he worded it in the non-nice way. He says your attic isn't insulated.
Which is fair.
It's fair. So I'm sitting here being like, damn, that's why my house. I mean, it's not cold and it's not like hot, but it's never like amazing. Like for how much our
Mm-hmm.
bills are, you would feel like the house should feel better.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that I have a non-insulated attic, and that it went from like I thought it was bad. Like I was like to the guy, I'm like, I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was like as bad as it could be.
Yeah.
Like no insulation in there would probably be better because I don't have to pay a fee to clean up the little shit I have.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a non-insulated attic. Guy,
That's
he was like, "Oh,
fun.
I like foam." He recommended foam. Foam's kind of expensive. Just put it out
It
like,
is.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
like $7,000. Um,
I
but
would agree that it's the best of the options, though. But I
yeah,
don't think you need it.
no. Now what that does is it makes my attic a conditioned space, and
Mm.
that so not realizing that was the price tag of insulation, and my insulation was bad. I had to go a different route. So apparently, I found the government has this NEIF fund, National Energy Im- Efficiency Index Fund, or National Energy Fund Index Fund. Basically, the government has a program where you can get like go through a contractor that's an NEIF approved contractor. You get like a project quoted up of how to make your house efficient, and like you say like this company's gonna come out and be like, hey, you need better insulation. They do it, and then you just get like a loan through the government, and then you just pay it off with like
Okay.
whatever. And you get tax credits for it, and you get like rebate. You get a bunch of shit for doing it, cause
Sure.
um. So next Thursday, I have energy efficiency um assessment being done on my house, where they're gonna put like a bag and a fan on my front door and like leave the front door
Mm-hmm.
open, and
I've
they're
seen
gonna
that
use the
done.
thermal flare cameras, and they're gonna show me like my points of they're gonna show me all my points of like where I'm losing energy efficiency for like that type of stuff.
Mm.
Um, that randomly is paid for by my electric company. So like they do apparently a spot up job because they get paid to do this assessment because
Hmm.
my electric company wants me to use less power.
Okay.
And why my energy company wants me to use less power is because when you're a customer of an electric company, you don't just pay your electric costs. You pay fees. You
Yeah.
pay your like maintenance fee and your utility lines fee, like you pay
Yeah.
a bunch of
They.
fees.
Yes.
So it's advantageous for the electric company to sell me less power because that gives them the capacity to sell to a second customer.
They're in for the quantity,
The more
the
customers they have,
customer quantity.
it's it it's they will make more money selling me less power, but selling two of me
Mm-hmm.
the same amount of power.
Makes
Because if
sense.
I pay like a $20 utility line fee and they pay a $20 utility line fee, that's $40 in utility line fees versus like me spending an extra like I'm small numbers. I'm making this all up, but like
Yeah.
an extra $5 of power. Because that $5 of power, their margins are small, but the fees are basically like 100%. You make like a shit ton of money on fees.
Yeah.
Um, so my electric company wants to know how I can be more efficient, so that this company can then like get it for me, so that I can get a loan for the government to get all these things done. I'm not gonna do everything, but like I'm definitely gonna get my attic insulated. Um, but yeah, that was I hope in like 2 weeks, not next podcast because it's next Thursday's the assessment, but I'm hoping like the week after that I have some cool pictures of like thermal cam of my sadness leaving, of my money leaving my wallet in certain areas of my house.
uh, for some reason during that story, I remembered that today's your birthday. So happy birthday.
Thank you, Bruno. It is a convenient day for a birthday on the Wednesday.
It do be a nice Wednesday convenient day.
Subtopic of that topic.
Yeah?
Um, one. So you have a birthday. You were born. It is a date.
Indeed.
It's a date. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head now that I'm being like standing here, but mine's
May
today.
8th. I could
May
never
8th.
name yours either, so
It's fine.
I understand.
Wait, when you look at I don't. It might be just a me thing, but like on my birthday, I always look like down in windows, or you see on a calendar, and you see like your little date. That's on like 10/9. I'm like, damn, that's my birthday. You ever just like look at a little date and be like, huh, that's my date.
Um, I said probably, yeah, I'd say
That's
so.
it. I I mean, as a kid, your birthday's more like the cards and the party and all that stuff. But like now that I don't really like, you get like not
No,
not
yeah.
too much special about the birthdays anymore. Now it's just like the ooh, that's my fun number.
Yeah, that's mine.
Um,
That's the number I put on forms all the time when it asks me for my birthday.
but I have two fun numbers in a row now because of the wedding.
Mm,
I
mm-hmm.
mean, I always had the anniversary, but that was like a like the wedding anniversary is something that like you're more not more proud. You're more likely to be able to throw in a conversation. Oh yeah, it's my wife and I's wedding anniversary, and people
Yeah.
like would be like, "Why the fuck are you?" They'll be like, "Oh, that's nice," versus like, "Oh, it's our dating anniversary." Be like, "I really don't." It's okay, that's cool.
Yep. No, I completely agree with you.
So like, I get for like 2 days in a row, I'm like, "Oh, that's my fun." I get like two double back fun number days,
Nice.
and then at midnight tonight, it starts the year long wait for it all to happen again. Um, yeah. Oh, other small sub bullet point on there. I do
Yeah.
enjoy my birthdays, and I do enjoy that. People wish me a happy birthday, but I hate like sometimes I hate having to respond because you're just like, oh god, I don't want to like seem ungrateful, so I'll send like a little extra message, be like, hope is all is well, or like thanks, like
Mm-hmm. No,
it,
yeah.
you know what the biggest saving grace was of this year?
What's that?
I've more and more gone to the delayed sending,
Mm,
so I
okay.
see it and I'm like, I should say thank you, but I don't want to like engage super right away.
I gotcha.
This is like to my grandma. I don't need to like have her like try to text me all day. So
Mm-hmm.
I type like thank you and I hit it like 1 hour and 7 minutes. And I'm like, I want her to know I'm thankful. I'm just it's 8:30 in the morning and I'm not trying to full blown gas engage with my grandma.
That makes sense.
So, but I do enjoy the wishes like when Discord starts blowing up. Also,
Yeah.
it's Happy Leaf Erickson Day.
Is that
Always
always this
always the
day?
ninth. Yep,
The ninth?
I was always
Okay.
me and Leaf Erickson.
There you go.
Um, so those are my two. Do you have any other comments on the installation? And my woes on that one?
No, I mean, like I said, I think spray foam insulation is top dog, but I also don't think you need it.
No. Again, the guy was very much. He's like, typically, I hate to say someone like, "Oh, we'll cut your bill in half," but he's like, quite honestly, living in a non-insulated house versus like an insulated house, your energy,
Yeah, it
like, it should do a decent impact. Like, there's a reason we believe in
and
insulation.
and I will tell you that my shed, right,
Yeah,
that started with no insulation, and I put up pretty decent. I think it was R39 insulation in the ceiling, or it might have been 42, something around there, like
yeah.
around a 40. It made a hell of a difference.
I'm, I'm, I'm,
Going from none to just ceiling.
I'm so
So,
excited at this point that like, I feel like my house is just gonna feel better
yeah.
for
And
like,
we did it for a couple reasons between sound deadening
yeah,
and just to regulate temperature a little bit better.
yeah. You're not trying to make it a
Like,
conditioned space. You're just trying to make it
calm
a
the
little more comfortable.
swings.
Yeah,
Yeah. And if we wanted to use heat in the winter to make it feasible, to make it worthwhile at least to
Yeah,
run a
you're
wood
not
stove.
burning a shit ton of whatever just to make it somewhat
Yeah,
comfortable.
I and because we don't have any insulation on most of the walls, you know, we've put in a couple blocks of foam insulation, but nothing much. Um, we do have insulated doors, though,
Yeah,
but
and
it's just
but
enough to take the edge off of the cold, to be able
no,
to
and
come inside from really cold to somewhat cold and have a somewhat warm space right around the wood stove.
yeah,
And it made a
and
hell of a difference for the ceiling.
they were like, oh, we could do like the fun method where we just cut a little hole out of like the walls and fill between your um
The studs.
studs. I'm like, I I have brick. It's like I'm like, I'm not worried about the side of how heat goes up and down. You don't have to really worry about too much of side to side movement. So like, while the
Yeah.
walls might not be perfect either, it's
No,
not the
but
walls that are like even with your shed, it's not the walls that are killing you. It's up and
yeah,
down. So yeah,
yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks I should have an update on that one. That not even just an
Nice.
update. I'll have like hopefully cool pictures.
Sweet.
Um, so I'll send it over. What do you what I don't what time do we start this? I didn't start a timer.
Oh, true. We're at 22.
22. Okay.
Um, so I was gonna pitch this to you last week, but things came up and we didn't do last week. And now I don't know if I should pitch it as hard because Burry just asked me to start a Minecraft server, and I did, and it's fine. But I don't know how that long that's gonna go, kind of deal, you know?
I'm here for the long run. Whatever. Pitch it to me now, and I'll put it in the bank. I'll let
Put
it
it in
invest.
that exactly. Put it in the bank. Put it in the mind. I've been seeing a lot of people, and it's been catching my interest and thinking it's time. How do you feel about trying Satisfactory again sometime soon?
You know, I
I
we
was, I was,
I enjoy the game.
yeah,
I very much enjoy you and me somehow have never finished the game, but I'm all down for it. But
yeah,
counter proposal just to start off this,
yeah.
we get her involved from the start.
Ooh, okay. So my first step was going to be to make a dedicated server, and I was almost started that the other day, but I didn't. Um, and then the
Eh,
whole Minecraft thing came up, but I like your plan. I think that's a good one. I like that.
I
Does he
wasn't even on the same
does
wavelength as you.
does he own it
Thought he did. I thought
or
he
not
like I
yet?
thought does he
The other
not?
problem is we have it on the fucking stupid Epic Game Store because he cucked us.
How much is it on
Um,
Steam? Because I almost $40 on Steam. Never mind. Gonna say like, wait. No, it's in live.
no,
I have it on Steam.
you do?
For some reason I do. You should check if you have it on Steam.
I don't. Definitely don't.
I for some reason have it on Steam.
Huh. Well, good for you.
I don't know why. There's a way I can tell this, right? Like
Did
I
has
feel like
this game? Oh boy,
Susan.
I don't see a her.
I thought he brought up playing it before.
This that sounds like her.
Okay, I think we get him roped involved. I think he
Yeah.
for some reason I think
Okay.
it's a game that would tickle his brain at
Okay.
times.
So I'm gonna bring up a different game that I brought up to Burry, and he brought up Minecraft to me. Okay.
Okay.
Me and Burry kind of decided that this isn't your game, but I think you would enjoy watching it. So that's where this is coming from and why I'm even bringing it up.
Yep.
I brought up to Burry about playing Mario Party on Dolphin.
Oh, okay. I I if you
Like,
guys would do a straight mini game mode, like where you
okay,
just do back to back mini
uh
games,
huh,
I'm more interested in that than the party part.
okay, okay.
but they do. I don't know if the new old ones have it. The new ones definitely have just like, and that's what we ended up when we were in college and we had the Switch.
Hmm.
Instead of trying to get people like into a game, we would just put it on like random minigame mode, and people would just play random minigame. Like, 'cause that's what
Hmm.
people really wanted, was to just fuck around with minigames.
I don't quite. I think they do. I think you can do that. In fact, no, I'm almost positive you can do that because you could do that in the first game. So why they would get rid of that feature, I don't know. So I think you can.
Full,
Um,
full games that lose interest
that's fair,
sometimes.
and that's kind of what I thought. I thought that they weren't your quite cup of tea.
I
So
like it for the mini. I want to just like I want to button mash or like joystick or like draw the little
yeah,
picture or like
I'm
something.
with you. I got you. So I've been working on getting that. One of these nights, me and Barry have to do some testing. But like, I think it's 4 through 7. We're on the GameCube,
They
which
had
is
they had one, four, five, six. They had four of them on the GameCube.
uh huh, uh huh.
God, that was the best system
It
ever.
was either 4 through 7 or 5 through 7.
That was just the best goddamn game system they ever made.
So yeah, um, I'm pretty sure it was 5 through 7.
The
No,
GameCube
sorry,
with the
four through
Wii,
seven.
the
Four,
GameCube
five,
with.
six, seven.
Well, then you probably
Yes.
have the Wii ones you can include in that because the late GameCubes could play Wii games.
And we could do Wii stuff, but I don't know how the fuck any of those mini games would work.
No, I don't think it's
Because
possible.
they're
But I'm
all
just
Wiimote shit. That
I
like,
was going on a
oh,
tangent.
shake it and
I was going on a tangent where the GameCube was the best system, and then like the one like era had like Wii games with the GameCube, and it was like the best thing since sliced bread
hmm. But I found ROMs because I needed them. I have save files, like completed save files.
with all the characters and stuff.
Uh huh.
Oh boy,
And I think I have everything working. So that might
I'd be
happen
down to
someday.
watch and criticize.
That's what I thought. I thought you would enjoy watching, and maybe if we get into mini games and shit, and maybe while we have things running, I get you set up. And I know that I still got Toadstool Tour set up in my
Oh
stuff
fuck, I
with
forgot
the
about that.
saves, so it might be a little bit of that going on.
I have it somewhere. I have my USB GameCube controller so that I could use the right button. I didn't have to like figure out what
Mm-hmm.
button. Like I could just hit like A for
Yeah.
A and like all those weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'd be down.
Satisfactory is on the radar. I think I want to get a dedicated server though, so that anyone can hop on whenever.
Cause I was like in my mind. It always comes up to like this time of year when I think about like getting into a game. Cause I was like, oh, I should try to convince Bruno that it's time for like some sort of run of like
Yeah.
we had the Planet Crafter was a nice like little hit, but it's time for us to.
Yeah. Planet Crafter was good. I don't mind it. I think it needs more finishing though.
I think Planet Crafters is a gateway drug to a harder game like Satisfactory or Factorio.
Yeah.
It's like a it's it would I
There
enjoyed the
was no
simplicity of it.
logistics.
No,
There was just put shit down and
and
go
collect
get
resources.
resources,
Yeah,
which is fine, and it's a good game, but it's not exactly us.
again, it's the Fisher Price version of games we like.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think we fucked up trying Pyanodons. I think that was too much.
I think it's too much, but it's still like it's still my like Everest.
I know, but we didn't even get to the bottom yet. Is the problem?
I think I don't want to blame the mod because I'm sure some people have fun with it. I think the rough part with the mod was it was hard to get to some of it was too much of a peak to get to
It
the
was
stuff that
the climb to base camp,
was hard.
aka the start, was hard.
It was like it's like I like oh I would be happy to do this hard thing if I had some creature comforts to do it. Like I
Yeah.
think belts were shitty. Or, like we didn't even have like grabbers.
It took forever to get assembly machines.
Yeah, we were just like handcrafting. again, like I said, base camp was it was a if we could start at base camp, I feel like that mod would be better.
And like I understand trying to lengthen early game because it's one of the easiest places to lengthen, I feel like.
Oh, definitely.
But goddamn, is it hard.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, but I think we get her on there. Her would go collect slugs for hours, and you know he would. Yeah. Well,
He would.
I'll be back. I'll be back. Where are you going, her? It's like, oh, gonna go get some of those slugs. Okay. Comes back being like, I have stuff. We like open up his thing. Like, how do you have 50 of these things? He's like, oh, don't worry
I
about
see
it.
it so much too. I see it.
I'll be done.
Oh,
So
that's great.
1.0 is out. I don't really know what they added, but I thought they added some like I thought 1.0 was like a pretty trying to pull up the release notes.
Yeah,
Was
I know that 1.0 is out, and I know that uh, a lot of people have been playing it. Like I keep seeing Ammunition play it.
no, that makes sense. I honestly forgot she existed, to be honest with you.
I still have her emotes. I love them. I
It
think
just doesn't pop up.
favorite emotes. She streams at like normal people times, which means that I don't watch very often.
Ah, so yeah.
Um, tier 9 is where they're at, including things like Save the Day, which is finish the game. Um, you can get to like Mark 6 belts,
What's the point of the game?
plunder the world for its
Well,
resources.
well, like what was the win condition?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I don't either. Yeah, send whenever it feels right.
Yeah, I think I need to get through some Minecraft here though.
You
So
have some mods to crank out.
yeah,
Is it a hard game? I thought it was like Sky. Is it one of those classic like old Skyblocky ones where it's like the mods get to like the super duper crafting where you have like 50 items for one little block?
yeah, it reminds me of Stone Block,
Okay.
if you remember that.
Yep.
Which I mean, they're all pretty close, but I think like the composition of it reminds me of Stone Block. But it's just ocean with a couple islands. So
I mean, honestly, nicer than having to build like a shit ton of platforms.
a little bit, but like if we want an actual sizable footprint, we need to anyways. But
Yeah,
you don't
but
have to worry about falling off the world.
yes.
So there's that.
No, yeah.
Um, in other news, TeamSpeak's on a comeback.
Yeah, okay.
Russia or somebody, I don't know what, but Discord is banned in Russia.
So now it's
So
an innovation.
people were flocking to TeamSpeak and I think crashing like TeamSpeak websites and shit.
So now they're gonna innovate because it's gonna be the biggest app in like
I don't
Russia.
I don't know. I saw that headline. That's the spoiler tag message that I had in there. I just thought it was so funny that I was like headlines for TeamSpeak crash reports after Discord's banned in Russia. I just thought it was funny.
You know, I if they just fix everything about their product,
Oh,
I'm in.
sure. Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh God, why is it so? That was the biggest annoyance of like. It wasn't even shouldn't have been annoyance, but like when I first started to like come around here, it was like I like every time it felt like I was hopping on a new like thing with you guys, and I'm like, I just want to fucking.
So like here's the deal, right? we used Skype originally, and then Skype got really bad.
Okay, well, Skype was. I think Skype was always really bad. It was just the best. It seemed the best by comparison.
There was a stretch of a couple years that it worked fine for us. And then it started just getting so bad. I'm talking like I would log into Skype, it says I'm in a call while I'm getting called and answering a call to be in that call. Skype already thought I was in a call as I'm joining it while I'm getting called. All three of those things were happening at the same time for the same call. It it got so bad. So we switched to Google Hangouts. And that just didn't work great. And it was
Got canceled.
of imminent risk of Google canceling it, which they did. So then we went to TeamSpeak. And you just caught the very tail end of TeamSpeak. So like we used it for a while. And then we were like, "Hey, we want chat. Let's look into some things." And like me and Fee were in the background. We were contemplating using AIM Messenger.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, like he was bad. And then we found Team or Discord and we're like, "Hey, this works. Let's pull the trigger." Because we were trying to find something that functioned and worked before we sent everybody to it. Because
Oh
we
yeah.
understand that it sucks to switch everything all the time.
Yes.
But we wanted to make sure we were doing the right thing. To be honest, having only like 3.5 stops on the way to where we are over 13 years, that's not too bad.
No, it's you know. I'm curious what Discord the next Discord. I'm curious what the next stop is.
It's
'Cause
coming
eventually,
up soon. It's like we're getting there. It's
uh,
time.
I worry. I like Discord enough, but I worry Discord is quickly becoming the YouTube slash Twitch slash
Mm-hmm.
Steam, where it's not that you can't make a competitor, but they just have such a. It feels like no one can even. It feels like no one has the resources to match them to begin with, and then
Mm-hmm.
also be better.
Uh, I've been on Discord for almost 9 years. November 4th is 9 years for me.
Yeah, it
That's a long time.
it's a long time. Like it just it is. I it um yeah, I just worry Discord because of how like how they've grown and how they've integrated themselves into everything.
Yeah.
But we'll be using like Microsoft Teams. I don't know, Zoom.
Slack.
Not using Slack. Join our Slack channel. I'm like, I'm not joining your fucking Slack channel.
All right, everybody gets an IP phone that they sit on their desk.
I I'd I'd rather. Uh, give me. I don't know. Discord. Just make the subscription like make it a reasonable sum a month. Make it like $4 or $5 a month, and I'd be more willing to pay it for good, better features.
You give me like a $3 subscription to give me slightly better voice channels. Give me a, you know what? Give me a $10 server subscription that like one person has to have that upgrades the server. Give me more fucking emote slots and soundboard slots. Why is it so limited?
Because it's aimed for almost like streamers, where they're like, oh,
And like,
they've designed it for the fact that you shouldn't have a Discord of like. I want to say like in my mind our Discord is like 12 people, but I know that's just a lie because there's like 80 people here.
it's 12 core people and then additionals.
I refuse to believe sometimes that we have like so many people in this server.
Okay, so I do have a lot of bots in the server.
I
I
don't
will
care.
not I will
There,
not deny that.
you
But
can have bots in here, but I can go through general and be like, who the fuck are these
oh
people?
no, I know. I'm going to look. There are 71 members.
I
There's a lot of bots, I will admit, but there's 71 members of the server.
That's
That's a lot.
crazy. I I couldn't name 20 of them.
I could probably get to 20,
Eh,
especially if you let me use bots.
I'm not letting you spot.
I could probably get to 30 if you let me use bots.
Fucking half a buffalo's on the yeah. Um. Yeah. You know, Discord's good for me now.
Yeah.
When I have
Like
it
if
on a
you
4K ultra wide.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
On an
That's a
average day,
that's a good Discord monitor.
on an average day, the only thing this LG ultra wide like fucking $900 monitor displays is Discord chat on the left side and then your guys' stream on the right side. I'm very sad when no one has a stream on because I don't know what to do with that other half of the monitor.
Mhm. Mhm.
Even if someone streams for a second, I leave the popped out window that just goes to like our faces.
Yeah. You could force that window, by the way, if you ever want to.
Yeah, I know that's possible. I don't know how to do it, and I've just never remember do it. And I
If you hover the chat, um, there's, I think it's the open chat window. I think if you click that, it opens up the thing.
uh,
Um, so yeah, I
I
found
have a
something
pop.
new. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I can't mess with two because I already have it popped out for
I
the
know, yeah, it doesn't work when you have it already. You'll have to try
yeah.
it when you don't have it.
God Discord, let me pop out things on separate windows, and I will be so happy.
Right? If you could pop out separated streams, that'd be so great.
But alas, yes,
No. So I found something new. All
yes.
right. I took a book recommendation. I was very hesitant on this book recommendation.
Ooh, can we start higher level than that?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so you finished all the series that you're currently reading, so you were looking for a new series.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is this to put me in the right? Is this a pivot of genre, or was this just a in a genre that you were pivoted to a different series that you were like, I don't know
It
about this.
it was I broadened my horizons slightly as of recently with heretical fishing and wanted to go down that path a little more.
Okay, okay, now I'm in the
It
right
was
mindset.
it was a recommendation for a book that I've heard a lot about, that I've heard of before that was good, but I had some hesitations to start it.
And
The
did you
book,
start it?
I did start it. The book is The Wandering Inn.
I've heard that it ranks up there. When I researched the lit RPG
Uh-huh.
genre, it pops up as a lot of times inside the top 5.
Uh-huh.
I is the protagonist a female?
It is.
And yeah, I know it's a big series. I know when I was looking into it, like I was considering starting yours at some point, but I was also considering like maybe not starting with yours. That way I wouldn't ruin like I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't base like I'd start within the genre and then pivot to your one just to see how it
Sure.
compares to the genre. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that one pop up a lot.
So the vibe that I'm getting and feeling is that it's more of a comfy book.
I saw slice of life as a tag at one point. Is that
Exactly.
true?
Yes.
Okay.
I would call it that. That's not to say that there's no action, but the the general idea is that yes, it's like more of a slice of life book, which was kind of the way Heretical Fishing went, and I liked that a lot. Like I
Okay.
read it and enjoyed it.
Yep.
My hesitation is the series is massive, and I was concerned that I was going to like it too much and never stop.
You? No. Never.
Well, it's like a One Piece situation because there's so much goddamn content. So I've been reading it when I have time these past probably couple weeks now, and I found online you can read this book online. It's a web series. They also have audiobooks and Kindle books. You can just go online and read it. I have a book file that I put on my phone that's like most of it, right? In one file.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm halfway through what they're calling the first book. By the way, the numbering system for this book is shot, so good luck. There's a chart online to figure out where you are in it. I am 1.6% of the way through this file,
I
and I've been reading it for what feels like weeks.
Is
It's
there a page count?
My phone says I have 12 and a half hours into it.
Is there any sort of page count? Is there any sort of like
Um,
number, like like a fraction or anything like that that's
how
determining that one point
would you
something
like
percent?
words in book
Is it giving you how
or
many words you've read versus not? Like I'm trying to get a the 1% means nothing if you don't know
okay?
what the
Uh, I'm on page 820.
okay.
There are 48,000 pages.
That's okay. That helps put it into us perspective
Okay,
that like
there you go.
it took you around 12 hours to read 800 pages, so they're probably
And
roughly
so
good sized pages.
the 12 hours is my phone. I don't. I have read some on the computer. I don't think that transfers over too much.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
that might be just phone progress.
Gotcha.
Because I jump around sometimes. Yeah, no, it's
Do you
telling me that there's 12,300,000 words in the book.
do you is it a worthwhile series, or is that like a is it like an Everest series
So,
where it's like you start it and you go off of it? It's like a you're gonna read so much and you're like I'm gonna need a break of the series because there's no real like there's no real stopping points of like a book ends and you can take a stop at that because you have like a just endless stream of words to read.
so, um, hmm. First off, I'm enjoying it. I like it. It's a great book that I have found no issues setting it down. Like, if I'm reading it and my dad calls me to help him with something quick, I have no issue setting it down, coming back to it later. Barry wants to play Minecraft? Great, set it down. It's easy to set down and pick up, which is something I enjoy, and I have had trouble doing that sometimes before. Like, I'll set it down and I'll have to, like, back up and get back into it kind of thing. I did not have that problem.
Hmm.
I I think it's gonna be a like a oh hey, a book I want to read came out, and just set this down and come back to it later and not worry about it. I think it's just gonna be a chip away at it while I feel like it kind of situation, not a push for an ending.
Your One Piece.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I was kind of like I need to start like deep diving into series. I'm gonna download probably your series for the cruise. I'm gonna probably um just because it's always the top of the list, the Dungeon Crawler Carl.
I've read some of that. I forget how much. I could probably go check quick.
It feels like it's always on the top of people's
It
lists.
is, yes. That's like the number one Reddit book. Um, like He Who Fights with Monsters is people either love it or hate it. Dungeon Crawler Carl, I feel like everybody loves. I was enjoying it, but it also didn't hook me as much as some other stuff.
There's
I
another.
read 4 and a quarter books of that, of Carl.
Was there? There's another one I'm trying to remember. I'm looking.
Cradle is very well regarded.
No, that one. It was. Chaos Seeds.
Mm, it sounds familiar.
The book one is called The Land Founding. Chaos Seeds Book One, a lit RPG saga.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not. It's not ringing too many bells.
I'll probably download three, see what it is like,
Mm-hmm.
or like three of them, and then just come on the cruise. Hopefully, I don't know. I think I'm gonna do a lot of reading this cruise. We have a lot of beach days.
Yeah. I like to over prepare for that stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what series I'm gonna download to watch. Yeah, it's. I think I'm like 50 some days away, so it's like that time where I need to start like preparing. Um, yeah, I'm glad you found a book. I'm glad that's
Yeah,
I'm glad for that.
it's good so far, but it's a monster. Um, Steph, our resident Canadian, is the one that recommended that to me.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Has she been reading it for years and is caught up?
so she's been reading it for a while, I think, and like off and on, you know.
Yeah,
And she is an audiobook kind of person, I think.
I
So,
I believe I know that because I believe me and her have a couple series we've listened. I know me and her have a couple series we've read
yeah. So,
or listened to.
audiobook. So she would tell me, or did tell me once, that she was on like book 6 in the audiobook. And I was like, okay. So I went into this file. I believe my file is the web novel, like straight off the web. And so I went into it and went to chapter 6 dot whatever, you know. I think she said she was on chapter like 26 or something. So I went to 6.26 and said, "Oh, that's a quarter of the way into this file." Or no, sorry, that was like 33% into this file. And then I found out when I looked online, there's this chart to figure out where you are if you're coming from like the audiobook and trying to get to the web release. Apparently, chapters are all sorts of fucked for the books depending on where you go.
Gotcha.
So, it was only 25% of the way in. So she's on book 6 and a quarter of the way through it.
Damn. So um, I know you said it's fucked, but like at that rate, it's 24-ish, like books ish,
Yeah,
rough.
yeah. Like my book file has how many minutes left in the chapter kind of thing. It also has how many minutes left in the book. It tells me that I have 867 hours left based on my reading speed,
Sheesh.
which has been fluctuating, but I if I had to guess, it's somewhere in like the high 200s word per minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Maybe not high. It's claiming reading speed is 234 words a minute. So I got almost 900 hours left.
You'll be done in a. You'll be done in a few weeks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. The other thing is if I start an audiobook, I can't switch to reading it.
So I want to try an audiobook, but there's a problem with the first book of this series. Um, the first book went through a rewrite. So the audiobook and the text don't match.
Um.
So I'm having a hell of a time finding out where I'm supposed to be in the book if I transfer back and forth.
Mhm.
So I think I'm going to revisit it later in the book, like after the first book.
Gotcha. Um.
So we'll see.
Like I have a book I want to read, and because it was right now a standalone book, it's a Brandon Sanderson book. It's called Elantris. It's only one book right now.
Okay.
I would consider reading it right now because it's one book and I could read it and be done. However, it's going to become an audiobook because I think like it's on his vision map to like he's that series is going to get a series. Um, so I can't switch because one, I guess it's easier to go from reading to audiobook, but it's hard to go audiobook to reading because the way because it's fantasy, so a lot of not made up, but like names, they're unique.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a standard name.
Yeah.
Um, I when I try to read about his Stormlight series, I look at names and I'm like, who is that? And I have to realize, oh, that's how they spell this name, and I'm like, that's just not how it
Yeah.
sounds phonetically.
Somebody needs to make an audiobook player that follows the text as well.
Yes,
So if you want to like match up, you can, or if you just want to read, you can, and pick back up in the audiobook.
it not Amazon because you have to buy them twice, but you get a
Apparently,
discount if you buy an audiobook and you get the digital book for a discount, or you buy the digital book, you get an audiobook for a discount. But you don't even get the same if you buy them.
it's crazy.
Yeah, good. It'll keep you occupied for a while.
Yeah.
I did see a thing talking about long series. I know they're redoing One Piece to be shorter and a better pace,
Yeah.
but I saw a short that convinced me more than ever that I should start One Piece.
Okay.
Some dude's like, "Hey, if you watch One Piece right now, yeah, it'll take you a long time to catch up, but you most likely will still finish. If you do a decent pace, you should still finish the series before the series is finished. Or you should catch up for like."
Probably. Yeah.
He's like, you know the second
The
that
spoilers would be crazy.
we know what the One Piece is, that'll ruin a lot of magic of the series that like is the magic of the series right now. Is
Oh
that like
fuck! God damn it, Nick.
now he's like, if you want to stop before like you've said, I've done a little research now. Like they are quote unquote on the final arc, but everyone's like, yeah, what does the final arc actually mean? Is it the
Yeah.
final arc of like 10 arcs?
Yeah.
Um,
I
'Cause
think so. I think yes,
like
but I'm not
oh,
sure.
because he seems to have an idea of like major arcs and minor arcs make up a major arc.
Yeah. I think in their terms it's a saga and arcs. Yes.
So he's like, if you just have if you know what it is and you're on the last arc or like saga or last arc is like it's gonna feel you're not gonna lose a lot of the special because you've been on the journey before of that of like not knowing what end game is. When you're at end game and you know what the end game is, it is what it is. But like you don't want to be like our act one, which you're farther than that, but like still equivalent of like
Yeah.
you don't want to
No,
know
I'm like a little over halfway.
what episode do you think you were on?
If you give me 10 seconds, I'll find it.
Nope, that's good.
Okay,
Uh,
Trello on mobile sucks. By the
no, I
way,
forgot you were. It's been a while since I remember your Trello.
there it is. I'm on 664.
Couldn't even end it at 666.
Nope, couldn't do it. God
Um,
damn it. That makes so much sense, though.
it does. Um, but yeah.
God.
I lost track of timing. What are we at? Because I think we're close. I want to know where we're at.
Rounding on an hour right now.
Damn.
Do you got
Uh,
something or you want me to take it?
I'm trying to think. I'll save it because I'll probably have a better. What do you got?
So, I haven't talked about it since I got
Oh, I forgot.
it.
It's been yeah, because we forgot about talking about it like a week. Oh, this is
This
your
is
new
the new
boy,
flashlight. So this is my Nlight D L2.
your fancy boy.
My fancy, very not needed boy. I put the little glowy bits in the other side now too.
And then
I got
those are
them going.
just, if I remember right, those are just like they absorb UV rays and emit.
Yeah, it's glow in the dark. They're
Yes,
just little pieces. Same as the ring in here.
yes,
I made them glow so that they look like something. They're just white little pieces. So this is a LEP flashlight, a laser excited phosphor flashlight.
right.
Basically, a laser shines on something and it makes light and it makes this little tiny dot on the wall. But the thing is, it travels very far, right?
Yes.
So, I'm assuming you have the stream up
Yep.
of that I have up so I
Yep.
can show you. I have some photos of what's going on. So,
Fuck,
you
you're
know,
just
just
blasting that tree.
took it outside. That tree's probably where I'm shining it, 100 yards away from me. And it's just
Fucking,
putting a dot on it, you know?
fucking, it's lit.
So, it's just really fucking cool. Size comparison compared to some of my other lights, you know, it's very sizable. It's not huge. There are bigger versions of LEP lights, which are crazy. It was a
Jesus
little foggy
Christ.
one night. Fog at night turns this thing into a goddamn lightsaber. And it's freaking cool looking.
Bro, you could be sending the signals here. Like, oh, you see
Oh,
that in
no,
your
yeah.
yard and be like,
No, like this is the bat signal.
yeah. Yeah, I do like the accent lights. Those are cool.
I
That's,
I do too. It is cool. That's a deer in a field.
bro, that
Notice
deer is like,
how fucking dark everything is except for where it's shining.
bro, you blinded that deer.
I might have blinded that deer. I think I have a video as well. I just need to work on getting it to the monitor. So I was driving home. This is the field like right near my house.
Yep.
So those are my headlights. Turn my head, pitch
Yeah,
dark, and
ridiculous
just
headlights.
beam.
Did you know a deer was there, or did you just happen to like
I think
get?
I saw it as I pulled up,
Oh, okay.
but I think I was a little surprised.
Deer was probably
Yeah.
fucking surprised.
Yeah, probably. There are always deer in that field though, so it was not a full on surprise.
I guess I'm excited to see it in person.
It is ridiculous in person. Like videos, sure, it looks cool like this, like looking at it. In person, it feels like you're holding a lightsaber because of what it does, which is kind of weird and neat.
Man,
It's good. It's complete absurdity. I have no idea other than like the best excuse I could have is like a search and rescue light for why anyone needs one of these.
oh, we found the guy. On an unrelated note, they have now partial blindness, but they have been found.
Yeah. And like it's just absurd because it needs a high output battery. So it's running like a 10 amp discharge unprotected 14500 battery because the flashlight has protection but the battery's unprotected, and it has to be a high draw battery because it uses that much power. Kind of it's a whole ordeal. I dove way too deep into flashlights. I want like 5 more already. It's not good, Nick.
Yeah, no, it's not good for you. Get it. Time to pivot to the new hobby.
Yeah, no.
You need a display case for your flashlights.
Sure.
Oh, you
It's
need to
fine.
3D print a little desk. You need to 3D print a little desk holder from all.
That's not a bad idea. Kind of like that. Most of my flashlights have a magnet on them though. This one doesn't. The new one doesn't.
Well, you can make a little case that has you can put little magnets.
Yeah. But like most of them, if I just had like something metal, just thunk, stick them onto it. Some of them I use too often though. Like my little guy here, this little tiny thing is so much better than a phone flashlight,
It's
and
just
I
better to have it
find
on you.
myself using it so often. But this one, if I'm going out somewhere, I've found that this has a great spot, which I clip it in my back pocket, and it just lives there, and it's great. I like it. Little wedge guy.
Little wedge.
So yeah, I like it. New flashlight is just utter absurdity. There's no reason, but it's cool. I like it.
Well, I'll be happy to hear about the next one.
Yeah,
I give
it's
it I
already in
give
my
it
head.
I,
Like,
I give it to January before it's purchased
mm,
because someone will give you something for Christmas and you'll use it to get that.
hmm. You're speaking a lot of logic here.
I did think of one short thing to talk about
Yeah.
because I had it on my desk to remember it and I didn't remember it till I just picked it up to play with it, but I did it. So I'm old now, just because my birthday I have to make that joke. But Madeline has me on unrelated. It's like she bought me some vitamins. She's like, you should take a vitamin. Yeah, that's
Okay.
probably. I don't eat like a fully balanced diet. Like I don't have two servings of vegetables. Like
Yeah.
it's probably
No,
for the
I'm.
best that I take
Mm-hmm.
like a multivitamin. Well, I have an issue. I have two vitamins. One is better after you eat. So, because I don't eat breakfast, it's better that I don't eat it in the morning or take it in the morning.
Yeah.
It's better I take it in the evening, like after dinner.
Sure.
But also, uh, because she always complains. I used to have yogurt at lunch, but my yogurt I hate like Greek yogurt. Any of the good yogurts I hate. I just don't like the taste of. And all the
Yeah.
yogurts I like have like 60 grams of sugar. That's an exaggeration, but like.
No, I'm following. I got you. Yeah.
So she has a big bottle of calcium supplements. So I was like, I'll let me ditch the high sugar dairy and just like pop the calcium supplement, and I'm probably better off for like eliminating sugar but still having like a good source of calcium. Um, but those are better taken in the morning because you want, even though the pill has vitamin D in it, it's like you're better off taking a calcium supplement in the morning when you have the most exposure to vitamin D, which is like the sun,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to break down the calcium efficiently.
Yeah.
But I have to take that in the morning. I have to take the multivitamin at night, the
Mm-hmm.
food.
Got a
So
nice organizer going.
I got a little pill case because like I I I have the bottle right to my desk, but I can never remember if I took it or not. So I just
Mm-hmm.
I need the
Mm-hmm.
remembrance, and that's my no real pills, just like those two supplements.
Yeah. That's good.
Now I'm old, so I did have to find the cheapest one on Amazon, which was like I could get a clear white top for $4 or the purple top for $3. So I just said I'll take purple.
It'll remind you of your old Game Boy Color with the purple case.
Atomic purple, such a good fucking banging color. Um, yeah, everything else can. That's all on next. That's all. You know what? You know what? Next week is. It's another Thursday. We have
It's the
more to
best
talk
day.
about. It's always the best day because that's all we have for this week's episode of Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast. Thanks for listening and goodbye.
See you later.